This is the Unbreakable Golfers podcast, where we're shining a light on your pain and weakness and how it is affecting your positions, your power and your performance on the golf course. 14 days, MF. 14 days. It's been 14 days since I uploaded a podcast, and it's backed, focused and excuse making all around the justification of what I've done before. Now, sometimes you have to get completely clear why we're physically doing something. So I've said this before, whether you've heard it before, but the idea for this podcast when I started it was to have 5 episodes a week that go out, and then interviews with some guys that I know to go with it. Then those 5 days, I had a couple of weeks where they become 4. Then there was 3, and then there was one day where I only done 1. Now, the first week I missed, was that last week? Yeah, last week. At some point in my mind, I was like, well, I've had a week before where I've only done 1, so really I only need to do 1. And this was on the Thursday. I'll try and do 2, I might do 1 Saturday, so I'll do the 3, but really I only need to do 1. What happens? I didn't do any. The level of justification that I was using, the standard that I set myself, had come down from 5 to 4 to 3 to 1 to eventually that I didn't do it last week at all. So here I am into Wednesday, and with everything that's on my agenda, recording a podcast was the last thing I was going to do. It just didn't enter my head. And this is what happens with our behaviours. We slowly justify the lack of results in what it is that we said we're going after because of lowering the standards. So take this in the body. Someone decides they're going to exercise every day. What we do on Unbreakable, the whole point is you get a exercise routine for your swing, very specific to your swing, that you do every day. So take that. So you start doing it, you're keen at the start, and you do it the first 3 days solid. Then you miss a day. Then the following week you might only do 3 days. And then you might after that only do 1, and then you go, oh, this isn't really working, maybe I don't really need exercise, maybe I need to buy new equipment. So all of that has come from the justification of not doing the work that you committed to do at the start. So the biggest reason behind all this is to find a reason why you're doing it. Why are you physically doing the actions that you're going after? See, for me with this podcast, it was a 90-day target that I set to finish up the end of year, to have habits and frameworks that I can use in everything else I do. So let me explain that a bit deeper. So the frameworks that I teach people, doing this podcast gets me completely clear. It makes it easier for me to teach people that come in and see me, because my frameworks are more clear. The habits is a stacking of habits, one on top of the other, that they don't become chores no more. They literally just become a habit. So my original plan was to do these 5 days a week. Now, when I get to the end of my Q4 challenge at the end of the year, whether I'm doing 5 a week, 3 a week, 1 a week, it doesn't really matter. What matters is, have I built the habit of doing it? And am I clear on my frameworks? These are the process goals of what I've done. These are the targets that I've set. Physical actions that I can take over the course of a 90-day plan, and at the end, decide whether I've hit my target or not. Now, if I was to change that target, and that target was, right, okay, I've got to do 5 days a week, and I've got to do that over 12 weeks, or a week before Christmas, and all that, then I would have a certain number I've got to hit. That would be my target. But that is not the target. The target is to be clear on my frames and have a habit that I can do every week. And that's what I've been planning to do. So here I am now, resetting my targets as I come to the end of the first month of Q4, and deciding that 5 days a week, even though it makes me more clear on my frames, at this point in time, is probably not going to be a habit that's going to be ingrained. But I've still got 2 months to find out. So there's a couple of questions for you. Where are you setting targets, either in your body, in your mind, in your golf, where you are not clear on the outcome in 90 days time, in 30 days time, in 7 days time, or by the end of the day? You have to be physically clear on the outcome. That will change with justification if you don't write it down and reference it. Follow-up question. What is one thing that you're determined to do in the next 30 days? Write that down, and in 30 days review why you did or didn't hit it. Good luck. For more information on golf performance, by increasing your power, by getting in better positions, by working on your body and mind, go to unbreakablegolfers.com and sign up to the free asset.